Hello and welcome back to No Beer Left Behind. I am Brian, and I am joined this evening by Frank in Austin. Frank, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Brian, doing all right? How are you?
You know what? I need a beer, so you're gonna hear me crack one open now. Are you drinking anything fun this evening?
Fun. Not really fun. I'm drinking a Guinness though.
That's always fun.
So,
That's always a fun time.
Yeah, can't complain. Anytime you open a Guinness, it's great beer.
How's dad life been?
Oh, good. Busy.
Good. Yeah.
Yep. We're finally done with the doctor's appointments for a while, so
for about like another 4 weeks, and then it'll be right back into it. Maybe
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah. Yeah. It's one of those like, oh yeah, no, we're done. Oh, this is great. And then right as you get into a good groove, they're like, hey, we're gonna jam a bunch of needles into your baby's leg, so come back in March. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I did make the decision yesterday to also get what did I get? I got the flu shot as well as the booster shot.
Yeah.
And this lady tried to convince me. She was like, yeah, the booster shot's the one that hurts. And I was like, man, I don't remember my COVID shots hurting the next day. And sure as shit, I told her, okay, fine. If that's correct, then put the booster in my left arm and put the flu in my right. And I just had this sneaking suspicion. Like, I was like, man, I always remember the flu shot hurting the next day. Like, it's like this numb pain in your arm. Sure as shit, yesterday, late afternoon, I'm going on a run, and like this arm, I can barely move up and down. The left arm's just fine.
Yep.
So yeah, other than that, it's been fine. I didn't have any, I don't know, any side effects from it. So
you didn't have any the first 2 times, did you? The first 2 shots? Okay.
The second shot, I got tired for like an hour, but then I went running and felt fine.
Tired for an hour, I don't think is a side effect. I think it's just living life. You know how many times I've been tired for an hour?
I mean, if I'm saying like what was different than days before, it was the fact that like at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, I felt dead tired. So
okay, fair.
It could have been a lot of different things.
I was going to say, Taco Bell makes me tired sometimes.
Side effect goes, if there was one, it would have been that. But
yeah,
it resolved, so I can't really say I had any.
Fair. Yeah, Mrs. Bryan got flu and booster in the same day. She was like, she didn't have any side effects the first 2 shots either, so she was absolutely fine. So glad to hear that you were good as well. My booster is going to be done at work, I think next week, so it'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. I feel like they're just stabbing people. I feel like they're just stabbing people in the arm at stoplights with vaccines at this point, which I'm fine with. Like, let's do it.
Just put it in fucking, I don't know, what, Big Red? I don't give a shit. Like, what do these fuckers drink that
sweet
don't
tea
want shots?
Just sweet tea. Everybody's
put it in fucking Miller Lite, Bud Light, Big Red, and sweet tea. You'll get 90% of the fuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, the one of the advantages of, well, I'm sure for those that do have little ones, is you do get to the front of the line for a lot of these things. Like, you're in there and they're like, oh yeah, we can just give you your flu shot today while you're here. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Anytime, like we're gearing up for the little ones COVID vaccine, because they just approved those like earlier this week. And we're like, okay, so how do we go about this? And, Denton County up here has got that shit under control. They're like, we'll get you in line as soon as it's available. As soon as we have enough doses for XYZ, you got a 6-year-old, you'll be at the, come on in. You may not be at the front of the line, but we'll take care of all the logistics.
As quick as possible.
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. It's pretty sweet. I mean, it's the only time that really having a kid in public is fucking useful, because otherwise it is a goddamn nightmare majority of the time of like, don't touch that. Where have your hands? Oh my God, what is that? Where did you find that? Just a constant barrage of questions. So,
well, yeah, that's good. So yeah, been busy, but it's been fine. The the most welcome news for a lot of, I think, even up there, up in Dallas area, is that it has plummeted in terms of temperatures over the past
hold on.
4 or 5 days.
I got something for this.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
I'll just drop this bed. There we go. Anyway, what were you saying?
No, what I was saying is at the beginning of the week, okay, so in Texas how they say you get second summer?
Yeah.
And it's the goddamn truth. Like it probably beginning of October, end of September, it'll cool off like it wants to be fall. And at the beginning of this week, end of last week, it was like 95 degrees down here.
Yep.
And over the last 3 nights, it's gotten into the low 50s, which is the first time since, I'm guessing, the end of the freeze that it's gotten that cold.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
sucks.
I mean, it's a pleasant surprise for a lot of people that, it does still get to be fall here, maybe just for a little bit.
Yeah. 10,
Get this
15
shit.
days.
Okay, so, it's rained quite a bit down here. This doesn't have anything to do with the weather, but because we've had a lot of rain, there's also been significant lawn growth and weeds. Like normally this time of the year, we don't have many weeds left because they all burned during the summer.
Oh, I've got like a cabbage patch of weeds in the backyard right now. It's gross.
Yeah. So, so I'm having to now constantly fight weeds, which is not normal for this time of the year, especially clover. Like I never have to fight clover at this point because it's not wet enough.
Yeah.
So it's rained so much. Now, not a funny story, but a holy shit, what the fuck story. Over here in Circle C, which is a subdivision about the size of Round Rock, Texas, it's fucking massive. It used to, I think at one point, if not still, it used to be the largest subdivision ever approved in America.
Terrifying. Cool.
Yeah, it extends from North William Cannon all the way down to almost the Travis County border in Hayes County. It's a massive subdivision. Has like 4 golf courses and in any case, yeah, it's like 3 elementary schools.
That's too much subdivision.
It's insanity. Okay. So in any case, they had a SWAT situation. Okay. In a subdivision where the average home price is probably like $600,000-$700,000. Okay. So there was a guy who, okay, so if this doesn't tell you don't be an asshole neighbor, you'd never know what might happen. I don't know how to help you, because what happened here is this dude didn't mow his lawn. Okay. And someone called the old code enforcement agency for Austin, and those bitches came out and they didn't cite him. They were just going to mow it for him.
Okay.
Okay. They start mowing. This motherfucker whips a gun out and starts shooting at him.
Yeah, that's probably not it. That's probably not the answer. I say probably because we don't know what they said when they were on the lawnmower. What? Why the fuck would you shoot someone who's clearly doing you a service?
No idea. I mean, I'm sure he was mentally unstable.
Wow.
But so he shoots at these people.
Did he
They
shoot
obviously he almost hit one of them. Like apparently it grazed off of the guy's seat.
them? Oh my god.
Like right next to him as he was jumping out of the lawnmower. So okay, so in any case, right? This happens at like 8:50 in the morning. Cops come out at 9:20, bring all the mental health counselors, everybody out there, crisis response team. And this standoff goes on for like 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The whole area's in lockdown. The elementary school can't let out, etc. So the cops eventually are like, okay, we're going to need to kind of figure out how to bring this to a close. They go to the back door because they start seeing a big fire being built inside the house.
Perfect. That seems like a great idea.
So this useless piece of shit started a fire in his own house. Okay.
Yeah.
Cops come in. He starts shooting at the cops. Hits one of them, doesn't kill him. and then escapes to the garage. And as this fire, like the cops can't come in because the fire is so big at this point, right? So the fire's massive. This dude's stuck in his own garage. And what I can only imagine is like in his mind is a scene out of fucking The Dark Knight Rises or something.
Does he drive out of the garage?
This motherfucker opens the garage door with full gear on, okay, and starts pointing guns at a SWAT team. Gets obviously fucked up, dies like 2 minutes later. But yeah, all this happened in like this subdivision up the road because of a fucking lawn.
My Christ. You know, this asshole's got a fucking manifesto online somewhere. Just he's like day 85 of no mo Movember. Yeah. Can't wait. Rumor has it SWAT's on its way.
Damn it.
Like, what a fucking asshole. So
so his house is fully gutted. Okay, I'll share a picture.
Was it gutted when the cops showed up? Because this seems very premeditated.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, he could have already had this plan, or he could have been working on this plan the whole day. But I mean, the house is completely burnt out.
You give me 8 hours to improvise a fucking standoff situation.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is a 13-alarm crap file.
Sorry.
And you reply all to a company-wide email where I...
Okay, sorry. It would not mute.
No worries. So you see, like, everything's gutted, and then you see the garage door still open where he made his fucking Bane appearance.
Fucking asshole.
I can only imagine this dude was like, all right, hit the button.
Oh, his yard looked like shit.
It does look like shit. It just looks like a bunch of weeds. So
his house is all fucked out. Like, what an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, like, there is a lot to be said for, you know, he had to be not mentally well, but he shot at people trying to do him a favor. He shot at the cops trying to help him out. The man was a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really know how you cut it any different way, but yeah. So in any case, if you want to go see it, kxn.com, top news story at the moment. It's been a slow news day in Austin. So this has been sort of like pretty top line news, even though we have SWAT standoffs seemingly almost every week. They send SWAT out to someone who is either keeping someone hostage or doing stupid shit.
You know, the story itself reminds me. I watched a documentary on Netflix. It's been out for a few years. It came out in 2019. It's called Tread. Mm-hmm. It's about a guy in Colorado who built basically a concrete and steel enclosure for a giant bulldozer and drove it through a small town in Colorado and fucked a bunch of shit up.
A revenge.
Yeah.
He sold his auto lot, or had to sell it at auction or something.
Yeah, so he was kept off of the sewer lines.
Right.
He was like his auto place was in the middle of a larger piece of property that was all bought out. And in order for him to
strategically forced him out of it.
Yeah, because he sounds kind of like a fucking asshole. And they were like, you know what? Fuck this guy. We don't really want any part of him. And then he he got real paranoid and delusional about a lot of things. And then, built this contraption and fucking tried to take out an entire city, which was hilarious. He caused, like, I don't know, millions of dollars worth of damage to, like, the city hall and, like, the library and everything. And then he was the only one who died because he shot himself in the face. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
what are we doing?
I will say again, true.
Sorry, spoiler
Dark
alert.
Knight, in true Dark Knight Rises fashion, He made an appearance out of a garage as well.
Yeah, he did. He drove through the side of his own building. That's what he did because he built. So the bulldozer was 1 inch more narrow than the opening to his fucking garage, and he backed it in there, and then spent the next like 4 months building it, and then realized, oh, it won't fit through the fucking door. Fuck it, I'm not coming back, and just drives through the side of the building.
Start it up. Okay, so there is video of this.
Oh yeah, no, because this was in like 2008 or some shit.
Yeah.
It was so wild. But for the documentary, they did a reenactment, which was so bad. Oh, the reenactment was so cheesy. It was like CGI walls coming down and shit. It was something else altogether. But yeah, no, same situation though. This dude felt wronged, and I know, like, he actually left a manifesto. It was like 8 cassette tapes that he had recorded to, and it was all like every one of those cassette tapes was just a like fucking come and take it flag recorded onto cassette. That's all it was. I think Frank either dropped.
No, I'm here.
I thought you spilled something underneath your laptop.
No, sorry. What I was gonna say, the funniest part about that is when you watch the videos and you see him in a bulldozer, which I think has a top speed of what, like 4 or 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, people are walking next to it.
Yeah. So, and they can't get in.
Yeah.
And then right when he appears out of that garage, there's video of him trying to chase down the receptionist at the auto dealer next door.
Yeah.
And she's like freaking out, but all she has to do is briskly walk away from this thing. It's so funny. It's so funny.
It's the old Austin Powers gag where the guy is stuck in a tunnel and like he's, oh my God, he's gonna kill me. And then it cuts to a wide shot and there's like 200 feet between him and like the forklift that's just coming out his way.
He just needs to slightly move a foot.
Yeah, and Austin Powers is all like, hey, just move to your left, to the left. And then he just slowly gets crushed. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. And he also tried to chase down like some Colorado state troopers who were hiding behind my favorite term ever, Jersey barriers, which are the concrete barriers that you see on like construction sites.
Why those things they lay down with that cool machine?
Yeah. Why they call them Jersey barriers, I don't know. I just think it's just absolute trash at that point. Anyway,
it probably came from the concrete yards in Hoboken, and they
just Jersey
weren't creative at all.
But yeah, they're hiding behind these barriers, and this bulldozer is coming at them like at a half a mile an hour. And they're like, oh, they barely got out of there with their lives. I'm like, no, they didn't barely get out of there with their lives.
No one barely escaped. Anybody who barely escaped got surprised.
Yeah, they were like taking a shit and didn't have legs. Like, the best is funny. The guy had a Barrett 50 cal like sling mounted in the cab of this bulldozer, and he had like had a slit cut out the back of it to where he could fire a 50 caliber rifle. And his goal was to shoot propane tanks at this propane dealer.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
true.
But the dumbass didn't angle anything correctly. So every shot he fired was firing into the back. Like there's like a trowel digger at the back of this bulldozer that can anchor into the ground, and he was just shooting that at point blank range with incendiary 50 caliber rounds. The shit was just blowing up in the back of his bulldozer, and he just kept firing off rounds. Like, dude, you're not.
At some point, he's gonna go through it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. They were like, the first one was like, oh shit, and he realized maybe I can fire in the same spot again, and it'll weaken it. It's a fucking bulldozer. You picked this because it was bulletproof. What are you fucking doing?
That dude, man. Yeah, that's a good comparison. I forgot about him, but that Netflix documentary they did on him is hilarious.
It's the fact that only one person died
because he's the only person that died.
Exactly.
Okay? If you go through it knowing that, the rest of it is funny as hell because these people are like, they're making a much bigger deal out of what really happened. Like the dude ran into a couple buildings, did damage, and he felt it could have been a hell of a lot worse, at which point I would say it was a tragedy.
Yeah.
This was a slight inconvenience for an insurance company is what this was.
It was too, because they made, okay, so you bring up a good point. I did not know that no one died in this whole thing when I was watching this documentary, so I was like, fuck, what's gonna happen next? And they're like, and he was going for City Hall, and I was like, yeah, fuck City Hall, fuck the man. And they're like, but it's in the second floor of the public library. I was like, okay, well, that's gonna suck.
Not the kids.
Not the kids. And I was like, well, how far away is it? And they were like 6 blocks away. I was like, well, okay. They had time to gather up all the kids, put them in a van, and deliver them to their homes before he got to the library.
They could have probably made a detour to McDonald's and still been in time.
Frank, they might have. They didn't say it, but they might have. They're like, oh. And again, a slight inconvenience for traffic with this fucking bulldozer driving right down the middle of Main Street in a town of like 3,000 people. Like, shut up. What the fuck are we doing here? If I had known no one died other than that asshole, I would have enjoyed the documentary a lot more, because they were selling the fuck out of his
they
like
sell
strife.
It like you're about to watch something go down, and it never happens. The coolest part is him breaking out of his garage.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, chasing this lady down with the bulldozer. After that, you can turn it off. Nothing else happens. They just make a big deal out of shit that didn't happen.
His arch rival, who gets in his largest bulldozer and tries to fucking like tries to tip him over.
Him out of the way. That shit was hilarious.
Oh, I see your bulldozer. I've got a slightly smaller bulldozer that's gonna tip you over. Oh fuck, it doesn't work. I just give up. That dude got out of his bulldozer, pulled out a pistol, and started just taking pot shots. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Then the sheriff or whoever it was who got on top of the fucking bulldozer, he starts shooting in the air conditioning vent that's mounted at the top of this thing.
And they're acting as though this man has a weapon that is unstoppable.
Well, that's what they were like. When you see it coming down the road at you, you think to yourself, my God, I don't have a way of stopping this. And I was like, well, you just get out of the way, I guess. The people who were trying to throw like steel bars into the treads to take it off its tracks, and all those are just getting shot back at them faster than they were getting put in. So you're like, oh, okay, dipshits. Like then it becomes like you start slightly rooting for the asshole this.
They put it into this position where you're like, holy shit, how incompetent are these people that they don't have a way to stop a bulldozer, because that shit, like if all I have to do to take over Buda, Texas is go down to the construction site,
Kubota site, to go to the Kubota factory and be like, hey, I want to take this one for a spin. Psych. Yeah.
We're in some trouble.
Yeah.
A, and B, if you have zero ability to plant on your feet. So your thing where they're like, oh yeah, we're going to put bars into the tractor treads. It's like, okay, you do realize this thing is like probably 2,500 horsepower beast. Like
it'll still.
You think your little steel rod is going to do anything to stop that motor from turning those wheels?
Dude, it was...
You're fucking stupid.
It was incompetent leading incompetent against incompetency. It was fucking phenomenal. At one point...
I would have personally just gone and gotten 7 to 10 school buses, surrounded him with it.
Oh, do you remember when they brought the grader in from the Colorado State like road works, and they put a grader in front of him?
I love how there's solutions here.
We're so dumb.
Road equipment versus road equipment.
That's all we got, baby.
We got to come through this fight fairly, okay? We're not gonna bring the National Guard with the tank. Oh. We're bringing road equipment because he's only got road equipment.
Hey,
it'd be unfair to take him down.
He's got a knife, boys. He's got a knife, boys. Throw the guns away. We're gonna make fair is fair. We's all legal here. Like, what? No, you shoot that motherfucker in the face. No, at one point the sheriff called like some dispatch for the National Guard and was like, yeah, we need the National Guard and helicopters out here. We can't stop this thing. I was like, helicopters? What are you gonna get, a fucking Apache out here and just fucking rocket this bitch?
Again, like I said, if you go into the documentary knowing this man's the only one that dies, you'll laugh at these solutions. Like when they're telling you the story, It all seems reasonable. Okay?
Until they get to the point where, and then he went out to California and he bought that he bought that bulldozer. It was a great price. And then when he had it shipped
tell
in,
you he got a good deal. That's
Yeah.
right.
they were like, and then when he was getting it shipped in, and they were like, I saw that big yellow tractor getting pulled down old Rodney's drive porchway. And I said, "Oh Lord, old Jimmy's got himself onto something now." And then he parked it all menacing like. I'm like, how do you fucking park a bulldozer menacingly, you assholes? What the fuck?
Dude, especially when they like ramp up to the day he breaks through the garage.
Oh,
Like,
it is
they're
like a
like,
slow tug.
I saw him go in there and he didn't come out for 4 days or whatever. And you're like, yeah, and while he was behind there, he was building X, Y, and Z around the clock, and people heard him. And you're like, he would apparently play rock music while he was doing all this. He disturb people.
He had cameras outside, so he would know when the building next door, when all the people would go home, and that's when he'd start his work. I'm like, what? You fucking assholes! Like, he is a crazy person who is also an asshole who is just doing what crazy assholes do, which is dumb shit. Like, if he was in Russia, how normal would that behavior be? I feel like I feel like it's every Thursday that shit happens.
7 out of 10 Russians have done it.
The way they talk about it, for anybody who's watched, like, you know, cop chase shows from the 90s, the way they discuss this bulldozer is like the time that dude stole that tank from the LA National Guard unit and was driving the tank through the streets of LA and was absolutely fucking stuff up. But he was in a fucking tank, okay? I mean, it was a fucking tank. Like, he drove over an RV at full speed and didn't slow down. This bulldozer was going 7 miles an hour, Officer Mihoff. And, it was bonkers. Anyway.
Yeah, well, highly suggest everybody watch it.
Oh, yeah. Great watch.
It is fantastic and hilarious at the same time. Again, it's hilarious in hindsight, but now that you know no one dies,
you can enjoy it
more.
Yeah.
Because you are legitimately the way they do it.
Frank,
you're waiting for this tank to like blow over, I don't know, a high rise somewhere.
Run over a school bus full of children just to prove a point. Frank, speaking of spectacular and enjoyable and all the other superlatives, I am drinking Parental Supervision by Odd Muse Brewing Company out of, I don't know where the fuck they actually are. Farmers Branch, Texas. It's all in the, like, Addison, Farmers Branch, Carrollton, crotch of the central cities in Dallas. This is a 8.5% hazy double IPA. Frank's number one fan, Shannon, my next door neighbor, actually brought me a few of these beers from Odd Muse because it's in a part of town that I never get to because of where it's located. And he was like, "Why don't you give them a shot and let me know what you think?" I was like, "Oh, why, thank you. I'll gladly. I'll be the tester for this one." It's 8.5% hazy IPA. It's really good.
Good.
I will say it is. Idaho 7 has this really unique characteristic to me. It tastes very like milky. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but it's got like a really like a
palate.
Yeah, like a full across the entire palate flavor, which is good. I do enjoy that. But it is it's funny, and of course I don't know. Maybe it's the grain bill that they use, and other beers that I've had with Idaho 7 in them have a similar grain bill that like produce that mouthfeel. But to me, I've had it in every Idaho 7 beer that I've tasted. So
nice, it's
good. The other one, he brought me one that I'll probably drink to finish off the cast. It's a triple IPA, and then he got a key lime pie sour, which is really good if you like sour shit. If you do not, go ahead and stay away from it because it you know how sometimes you taste something and the sourness or the tartness just kind of rises and then it just tapers off. This shit doesn't taper off. It just rises until you swallow. And then
it's like a warhead.
Oh yeah, but really good. Like if you like key lime pie, it tastes just like a key lime pie filling. No graham cracker crust or anything like that, so you don't have to fuck around with that, but really, really good.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think I like sour enough to like that, but
no, I would steer you clear of that beer. Oh my goodness. And it's been a while since I've had a big hazy IPA. Now I'm thinking about it. Like I haven't had
I had that That King Sue that I told you about. Oh, that shit's so good.
Yeah. You know what? I like King Sue. It is a lot of beer, and it usually is very expensive when I find it. I want to say it's like $21.99, $22.99 for a 4-pack.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's HEB has them for 17, but still
Okay.
a lot. It's not.
Pseudo Sue, I actually prefer a little more because I can crush 4 of them. As a matter of fact, I think I brought Pseudo Sue down when we were in Fredericksburg. That was one of the beers that I brought down for us.
I think you did.
Yeah, no, those beers, Toppling Goliath. Spoiler alert, they're really good. They know what the fuck they're doing. I mean,
They are, and they're nationally distributed, so you can get them in a bunch of spots.
yep.
Yeah. So should we quickly hit on a couple of assholes of the week?
Okay, I typically don't like to hit on assholes or have anything to do with assholes, but you do you, Brew.
Yeah. We're gonna start with Mark Zuckerberg and his renaming of Facebook to Meta, which I feel like Meta is something that happened. Like everybody was told we're doing this, and then nobody had any like guts to say
We're done.
maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, you mean renaming it, or are you talking about back in like 2013 when people were saying Meta? I got confused.
I mean renaming it to Meta because of what happened in 2013 with the word Meta.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing makes no fucking sense.
None.
So then he announces that they're Meta, and then that they're going to be focusing on this ephemeral metaverse that he has defined as being, I don't know, like apparently here's my thinking, right? Like this dude has 100 billion, 150 billion dollars, whatever amount of money he has. And he has determined that it is more important for him to build a virtual experience for people that's better than their current reality than to fix reality.
Yeah, that seems right.
And that to me is just fucking sociopathic. Like he is an absolute psycho.
Well, I mean, no one doubted Dwight Schrute when he created Second Life. Okay. So
yeah,
same, you know?
It's true. But yeah, so I have no idea, like, if anybody ever believes that you're going to be sitting in a room with virtual reality goggles on a beach somewhere with friends, I think you probably need to go and figure out how human interaction works. Like that, what tells you that they don't have a plan is every interviewer asked him, what's the use case for metaverse? And his answers were so dumb.
Yeah.
One of them was, well, you can be sitting in a room chatting with people while texting other people without looking at your phone and being rude or something. And it was like, what? What? Like, yeah. So in any case, when that got announced today, I was like, oh, holy shit. Like that whole company has entirely lost track of reality. Like if you're working at Facebook or Meta, I would get the fuck out of there. That place is nuts.
Or Meta.
I don't even know. Like, are we supposed to just now? Yeah, I guess we just call it Meta. Do you call Google Alphabet?
Yeah. I mean,
you do?
That's Meta is what that is.
Okay. These are such dumb things. Like they all do it because they think, oh, all of a sudden people are going to see them as this vast technology empire. It's like, no, you do search, you do public facing profiles. That's kind of what we use you for.
Yeah.
Google, you do email well.
You email good. You email good sometimes.
Yeah. Like, oh God, just billionaires in general can go fuck themselves. Like there is not a single GD reason that we need to have billionaires on this earth. Like period. End of story. Once you get to above $1 billion in wealth, it should all just go straight back to either your workers or the state. Like, fuck you. Nobody needs 120, 250, 290, however many fucking billions of dollars. It's yeah. Capitalism is a huge fucking problem.
fucking news break. You heard it here.
Yeah, we're all just like we're all sitting around while we're creating monarchies, familial monarchies around businesses essentially.
Yeah.
And we're all just like, oh, this is neat. This is normal. It's fine. The serfs just their housing prices go up all the time and they get no extra money because they didn't quote unquote invent anything or whatever. Like it's absolutely the most incredibly dumb like methodology to make sure that humanity has long-term aspirations. Why would anybody try when you can barely keep up with the way that it is currently? Like they're like everybody's just supposed to be happy to come back to this $12, $15 an hour job at an Amazon warehouse when your owner is making $1 billion a second. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, and then we shit on the guy who doesn't want to come back to that job.
Yeah.
But we don't shit on the person who has all this wealth and does nothing to just sends himself to space in a fucking dick ship.
Not a dick ship. Holy,
it's unbelievable. So in any case, that's asshole number one and asshole number two. Billionaires and Mark Zuckerberg in general.
Yeah.
And then we need to talk about home appraisals.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know, like I'm sure anybody who's purchased a house has had to go through a home appraisal. I've never had a home appraiser show up to my house that looks qualified to do the job that they're tasked to do. I know that's judgy, but my home appraisal this last time wasn't even wearing the same shoe on each foot.
Well, hold up. Let's go back a lot. What was that situation for? Was like 1 foot not his?
No,
or...
one was brown and one was black. I don't know. It's the same shoe. It was just different colors.
Wait, was the brown one originally black or I have so many questions.
It was one of those like morning mix-ups.
Oh, morning mix-up, but you're going to come and look in my attic to see if my house can sell for what it's actually valued for.
So appraisals are arbitrary as fuck. You
could literally get a different opinion and it's valued the same.
So just to show how arbitrary they are, my neighbor across the cul-de-sac and I have similar homes. I want to say his might be like 50 square feet larger. His yard is a little bigger, but all in all, the appraisal should be,
roughly
similar.
The same, yeah.
The appraiser that did this house came in a full, like, what would that end up being? 15% lower than what he got an appraisal for.
Yeah.
Just arbitrarily, the comparable homes that he picked were just made no sense. But it's not gonna matter for the loan refinance.
Yeah.
But it really so say we sold this house and this appraiser showed up to then do the appraisal on this house. And if we sold it for what this house should sell for, that deal would fall through.
Yeah.
Because this appraiser has no idea what the fuck they're doing. So it
well, you got faulty house gaskets, all of them, they're all fucked out. And then your gate's a little squeaky, so that's another 10 grand off. And I don't like the way the tulips are. So you can go fuck yourself. There you go.
I couldn't believe it. I've always hated appraisals. I've always thought they suck ass. There's no acceptable standard to them. And even the standards that are out there are so loosely guided. They're like, oh yeah, go find within the past 12 months, go find 5 or 6 similarly quality priced whatever homes, or not priced, but like size homes. Mm-hmm. Take a sort of a weighted average of them, and then just dollar per square foot price it out. What? Like, dude, so we always get looped in with subdivisions. We are not a subdivision.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that the subdivision down the street where everybody lives on top of each other and my house are going to roughly be the same value, I've got news for you. Like,
that's not it.
It's never been it. Like, every time someone sold homes in the subdivisions, they normally sell for about 20% less than this neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. So all that stuff goes out the window because they arbitrarily just pick 7 homes and come up with some per square foot number, and you just kind of have to accept it. I don't know.
Appraiser
it's ridiculous.
Picked 2 different shoes and then
that's
went
true
with
too.
it. So, I mean,
too.
can you imagine like just day to day with a person who's wearing 2 different shoes? Like, what is your fucking? How do you order lunch? Like,
no. Lunch is purchased at the local Toys R Us, and it's a box of crayons.
It's just he's like
he buys 3 because he only eats blue and red.
Why? And they're both orange. The two things that he eats are orange, and he calls them blue and red. He's like, why bother with lunch when I can just take some chips off the wall and eat them?
What bother? Yeah. When they go, have you ever eaten lead before?
He's like, oh yeah, all the
time.
time.
Only person that like proudly says yes.
Love it. It's good. You know,
it's got a nice sweetness to it.
It's got an oaky afterbirth. I'm really into that.
Oh man, that's too funny.
Dumb people suck.
And there's too many of them.
There's a lot. There are a lot of fucking dumb people.
God. So we also in late breaking news, Barcelona ended up firing our manager, which was long overdue.
About like 3 years overdue, if I'm right.
Well, he's only been there for 2, but it's probably
like I said, 3 years overdue.
He probably should have never been hired. Yeah. So he just in terms of dumb people, like, so I know I've said this before. Our team's really young, right? So we lose games we should win. We tie or lose against teams we shouldn't lose to. It's just what happens when you have a bunch of 17, 18, 19-year-olds out there.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of the hand that the club is dealt currently. It's not fun, but it is what it is. So if you're a coach, and I mean, you got to go back to your high school days, college days. If you're a coach and you're losing, right, and the media's coming out, right, they're gonna attack you. Fans are gonna be like, what's going on? What are you doing? Losing a lot of games. Your tactics aren't right, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's always gonna come out. It's like Mike Gundy play calling sucks when we lose. It's one of the first things that he gets called out for.
It sucks when we win too.
No, I know. Okay. But I mean, like, that's one of the first things that people harp on him for, right? Like, it's his play calling and his offensive coordinators are normally shit.
Yeah.
So in any case, Koeman has had this kind of issue following him that he doesn't have his tactical decisions aren't good.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's been a fair criticism. Now, instead of, saying, we need to kind of figure out how to put these players in better positions. We need to figure out how to put them in spots where they can succeed, maybe work a little bit more tactically in training. I don't know, like positive reinforcements. This motherfucker goes down and he goes, yeah, we lost the best players on this team.
Oh my God.
So, I'm not sure how anybody's expecting that we're going to get results every weekend. Now, I am no coaching expert, but that's sort of the white flag, isn't it? Like, It's like, I can't do any better than I'm doing, so shut the fuck up. Okay, I guess we'll find someone who wants to do better.
Well, I mean, right there off the bat, when you say we've lost all our best players, you're already saying fuck you to every player who's
all the
on
players
your team.
and they're young.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking here?
Well, and you're also taking another step back. You're also comparing all these 19, 20-year-olds to one of the, if not the best player of all time, having left the organization. So you're like, well, yeah, no shit, I'm not as good as Messi. Oh, fuck me. Wait, I'm not as good as Luis Suarez. Like, sure, yeah, no, I'm fucking. I was born when he like was a rookie. So
Yeah.
fuck me.
So, but that's the thing, right? Like, you would never say that as a coach if you're trying to motivate players, or trying to get the best out of the players. So, I've been a person who, I want stability in that coaching role. You want to give people a chance to put their stamp on the product on the field, and that takes time. You can't fire a coach. Barcelona's gone through 5 coaches in like 7 years.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. You can't do that. So, granted, all the previous coaches were under Messi and Suarez, and I honestly think their lack of willingness to train intensely led a lot of coaches to not succeed the way that they could have. I still think Suarez and Messi had too much say in how long practices went, how many they had a week, all that stuff. And older veterans don't like training. So
no, they've done it before.
So if you don't like training enough, the results on the field don't follow. And, this is a young team. You need to make sure that they're fit. You need to make sure that they're practicing adequately. And it never seemed like Koeman got them mentally prepared for anything. So then to throw them under the bus when your tactics have clearly been suspect, and it's just that, as soon as he said that, it's about 4 weeks ago, I, at that point, was done with him. Like, I don't have any issue supporting a coach who is trying, but you don't throw a bunch of 18-year-olds under the bus when they're literally just learning how to be pros. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can be a quote-unquote academy player since the time you were 10. That's still not a fucking professional player.
And then, it would have been also more believable had the entire Spanish midfield not been Barcelona players.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's goddamn talent there.
So if you look at the midfield for Spain right now today, 3 out of the 5 key positions are Barca players, and they dominate. Like, this is a team who almost beat France, in the finals of the Nations League. It's a team who went to the semis of the Euros and almost squeaked through. And they're young as hell. I think the Spanish national team is like on average 22 years old.
Damn.
So don't go and tell me that these young kids can't do anything, right? Like, you have Ansu Fati, who is an incredible player. Gavi, you've got Pedri, you've got Frankie de Jong, you've got talent. Like, this is an unacceptable premise that you're taking. So,
didn't they just sign Ansu Fati again for a 5-year deal or something?
6 years, and his release clause is $1.2 billion or something.
That's putting a lot of stake in a kid.
Yeah, so he fought with his agent because his agent wanted to offer him to PSG and Man City, and he said there's no way he's leaving. And then we signed Pedri, who's probably the best midfield prospect in the world, even in the past 10 years. I'll say Pedri is probably, since Andres Iniesta and Xavi, it's probably the only 2 that have been as good at that age. A lot of players, you guys have Mason Mount's midfield, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mason Mount was highly touted and still is highly touted. He's a very good player. But Mason Mount wasn't 17 when he started for the Champions League team. So
no, he was 19, but he's one. Yeah. He became an academy player when he was 6, which is wild.
Yep.
And apparently people are getting a nice chubby for him over at Real Madrid right now.
He's not going there
because they think they can pull him away from Chelsea. I'm like, dude, this kid is Chelsea through and through. Like, he is the like who you were just talking about, Ansu Fati. Like, he is that for Chelsea. He's like literally the poster.
Well,
boy.
also, Chelsea can pay him.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's funny that Real Madrid thinks they're going to pull anyone away, not named like Paul Pogba, and
Right.
people who have zero allegiance to anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Or Eden Hazard.
I mean, yeah, he's a fucking money whore,
Yep.
and loves McDonald's. So, if you're going to pull away a player of Mason Mount's quality, his team has to be struggling, and your team has to be very good.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to do it.
And that's
it's like remember when the rumors were that Real Madrid was going to pull away Thomas Muller or pull away Ribery or pull away. I mean, it happens all the time, and that fan base is so delusional that they can do this. And Perez, their president, just riles them up the whole time to get it done. But they always end up with Eden Hazard or Gareth Bale. These people who don't play soccer for the club, they play it for the money, and that's okay. I don't have an issue with it. It's just I don't see Mason Mount as being that type of player.
Fuck no. He is. I have nothing but respect for old Mason Mount. I don't think he should have been nominated for the Ballon d'Or, but
No.
but you know what? It wasn't him who nominated himself. So I can say
it's
that.
an off year. I mean, in all honesty,
Who do you have as getting it?
it's got to be Messi. I think everybody's like super. They're looking at the titles as being the most determinant factor.
Yeah.
Messi's stats are tops across the board. If you look at what Barca is today, right, and it's virtually the same team minus Messi.
Yeah.
You won't. I mean, I know it sounds harsh, but you should give the Ballon d'Or to the best player on earth every year, and it has never not been Messi for the past decade. So every time they don't give it to him, they make up an excuse as to why he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
But any fan watching what's out there on the field understands Messi is the best player we've ever seen and will see, and has been for the past decade. I mean, it's just not. There's no one that should edge him out. But I know there's talks of Lewandowski doing it.
Yep.
There's talks of Conte doing it.
I honestly, of the 5 people that were up for Chelsea, Jorginho is the only
Jorginho,
one.
but that's only because of Italy.
Well,
the
Italy,
Italian fans are so enthralled with his performance in the Euros.
He did help win Champions League as well. But yeah, Lewandowski is number one if you look at betting odds. Number one by almost like double from Messi if you're looking at odds wise. Messi's second. Mohamed Salah is third.
Mo Salah does not deserve it.
No, Liverpool.
I'm sorry. Mo
sucked
Salah hasn't been a
balls.
good player for 3 years. So
He looks great against second and third tier teams in the EFL Cup. But that's not like if we're going by that, then fucking Ben Chilwell, best player in England at the moment.
yeah, you could nominate Sadio Mane as well.
Which
I'm
probably
sorry.
should have over Mo Salah last year. And then
Salah being nominated is a joke.
Jorginho is next. Karim Benzema, N'Golo
Yeah,
Kante.
Benzema I could see. Benzema deserves. He doesn't deserve the Ballon d'Or, but he deserves
Nominated.
a lot of credit for what he does at Real Madrid. He has nothing around him, and he plays.
I was gonna say maybe
Lights
that's
out.
why Mo Salah got nominated in the first place and has that high of a chance or odds. It's just because no one else was there at Liverpool last year.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
The same way with Ronaldo. Like, I don't understand why he got nominated for his 13 games he played at Juventus last year. Because what the fuck are we
it's
doing?
just because it's Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So Lewandowski, if he wins it, fine. I'm of the opinion it should go to the best player, and the best player isn't always on the best team. But you should give credit where credit is due, and I think it's pretty obvious how incredibly important Messi is to a team.
Yeah.
Now that he's not on the team, so we'll see. I mean, I know Messi's not going to win it. If it's Lewandowski, fine. If it's Jorginho, it'll only be because the Italy contingent is so loud.
Yeah.
but I don't think he deserves it either. Like I can see the case for Lewandowski more than I can see it for Jorginho.
I mean, Jorginho is the penalty taker for Chelsea, and he was like 12 for 13 at the midway point of last year, including Champions League stuff. So, I mean, I put
He's a good player, but I
put
mean,
some
what did he
weight on
score?
that.
28, 29 goals?
Not even. But he's
Yeah,
a
it's-
midfielder though. That's the other thing. He's
No.
not a striker at all.
I get that, but I'm saying like if you're you've got to compare results, right? Like now, I'm not saying championships. I'm talking about okay. So if he's a midfielder, how many chances did he create?
Oh yeah.
How many of those chances were successful, et cetera, et
I
cetera,
mean,
right?
that's why N'Golo Kante was nominated, because that motherfucker creates shit out of nothing.
Conte, I understood, because Conte he's such a key cog to your offensive movements that it's like, okay, I can see how you can nominate him. Jorginho, he plays like a forward, so it's not. Yeah, he gets in more scoring opportunities. He's a great player. I just don't know how you put him against the likes of Lewandowski and Messi, and I mean, even I'm not going to say Salah, but name any other worthy striker. It's just that there wasn't that much good play out there last year. So I think that's also part of the
for
problem.
Christ's sake, 2020 Ballon d'Or got canceled because of COVID. So like we haven't had a winner in 2 years. So people are like, honestly, like myself, who 2 years ago I was mildly invested in football, but I had no clue as to like the bigger picture of professional club football, especially European club football.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just don't have. I didn't have the context. Now I do, and I'm like, well, shit, yeah. I can see a decent argument for everybody up there except for Salah, and everybody having like a decent, like, okay, yeah, no, maybe they were the best player. But it's also like it's pretty easy for me to say when there's fucking 5 players from my squad up
No,
there
but
as
it's
well.
that's always happens with Champions League. So when you win Champions League, you'll get a bunch of your players nominated. That's never. So if you look at the years Messi, Neymar, Suarez played together, they would finish all 3 of them in the top 5 for Ballon d'Or votes.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2015. It looks like it was the first time it happened, but it was Messi won, Ronaldo second, Neymar third. 2017, Ronaldo won, Messi 2, Neymar 3. And then, well, they weren't together that year. That was
PSG.
Neymar's first year at PSG.
Yeah, but if you look at it, when they played together, it would either be Suarez would be up, Neymar would be up, Messi would be up.
Holy fuck! Does the Ballon d'Or go to anybody playing outside of Spain at this point? Because Jesus fucking Christ!
Hold on, there's a reason for that.
Jesus,
you do realize that? Go look at Champions League.
Look at I
the
forgot that
stretch
there was
where
a fucking
Spain-
like 8-year stretch where
no one else won Champions League, so that's the reason. It's
so it just strengthens your point then. Like when
the Spanish team dominance for 15 years almost was so incredible that no one could figure out how to beat Spanish teams. So you would see there was a time not too long ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when Barcelona, Real Madrid would win Champions League, Sevilla, Valencia would win Europa.
Yeah, and that's a bigger deal than what a lot of people want to lead on, because winning Europa Cup or Europa League, you go in to play the champion of the Champions League, and like I didn't realize how much like clout was behind that, but there's a fucking lot, because you automatically qualify for Champions League the next year if you win Europa, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
So I mean, regardless of how you finished in your club, in your home league, you're already playing against the biggest teams in Europe. So already you're getting a bump. And then if you play well in the old Super Cup, you start your season off on a fucking like high note with a lot of people like looking at you. And hate to say it, I feel like the more coverage people, teams and players get, the better they tend to perform in soccer, at least. I don't know. Soccer's such a weird ass sport compared to American sports. Like, I was trying to explain this to my daughter who was asking questions, probably a little more simple than what I was providing her answers to. She was really worried about, why is that guy not kicking it in the goal? I was like, well, because that's his goal. Why is that his goal? Like, I was like, well, see, that's the one he's defending. You know what? And then I was like, I got in deep on some other, like, but I was looking at him like,
eyes just glazed over.
yeah, she was like, cool, My Little Pony. I was like, all right, My Little Pony. We can go talk about that. But I was thinking about it, like, soccer is a very unique sport in that, like, you could have the best player in the world and your team fucking sucks. Like, you
still don't win.
You don't win because the best player in the world never gets the ball. Like, he can't get it passed to him because the rest of his team sucks. And I was,
I mean, you could have three of the best players. When we had Neymar, Messi, Suarez, we lost or tied to teams that we should have never done that to.
Yeah. But it's because you have like one or two key players that are, or, key positions that don't have, competent players or even players that are consistent. Because that's the other thing. Like, if you have consistently bad players, you can almost play around them, Like, we have Kepa. Kepa Arrizabalaga is possibly the worst fucking goalkeeper on the planet. He can accidentally win shootouts somehow, somewhere. I don't know how the fuck he does it, but he has one of the best records when it comes to shootouts. I don't understand it. But at least we know that, and we can put Mendy in for the entire fucking game. And if it's coming down into the second period of extra time, we can be like, hey, you know what? Let's sub Mendy out right now. We got to keep a hold of one sub the entire game, just in case we got to fucking bring in Kepa to save our asses here. It hurts, but it hurts me to say. But at the same time, like, if you know how bad someone is, you could play around their lack of skill. He is really bad, though. I can't stress it enough. He's so fucking bad.
Yeah, you guys paid a lot for him too.
We're still paying a lot for him. Like,
he was not a cheap signing.
You know what? I think if Frank Lampard had unloaded Kepa at the beginning of last season, he'd still have a fucking job. We wouldn't have a Champions League. A Champions League trophy. That's for goddamn sure. But we wouldn't have Kepa. So
you wouldn't have Kepa. Well, I mean, when you guys, you just need to go ask your dirty oil money for more money. So
hey, you know what? It's really painful when everyone's talking about the Newcastle United takeover. Everybody's like, "Oh,
you can't say anything."
Yeah, Chelsea is saying "dick" about everything because we're like,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Let's go Premier League. But at the same time, like you were talking about billionaires in general. Most of them aren't great people. Got to say it. Like 99% of them aren't good people. You just run into some of them who are like Israeli, Russian oligarch billionaires who are real pieces of shit.
That's the funny part, right? Like, if you go on our soccer, right, there's a subreddit. The amount of people dancing on Barcelona's grave at the moment it's funny because if you're a true soccer fan, you should, with incredible respect, right, just appreciate what Barcelona is as a club. You don't need to support them. You don't need to care that
No, just the general fact that they're fan supported. Like,
it's fan owned. We don't have any ownership structure.
And you know what?
That's corporate.
I do kind of respect that. I didn't realize that Bundesliga has that.
Yeah, 51%. 51%. But they all have corporate buy-ins. So Bayern has
Bayer,
the drug maker Bayer.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Spanish clubs, none of them have corporate owners. Mm-hmm. So they all are 100% fan owned, and they compete at this level. Now it's not easy. They don't. So Barcelona is what we're paying for currently is the fact that when we sold Neymar and whatnot, we went on a spending spree that for some reason they thought Griezmann was worth $100 million.
I wish I would have been around with a soccer jersey back then. I felt like I could have gotten like a 20 mil deal just for kicking it around.
So they wasted a lot of money, and that's come back to haunt us. But for the most part, we grow our teams out of our academies. We have a lot of fan support. There's a lot of international support for Barcelona and for Real Madrid. A lot of fans buy jerseys. There's a lot of history there. But it's not like an oil company stroking a check or an oligarch stroking a check. Right. So you can dance on the grave if you're a Chelsea fan or a Man United fan or a Liverpool fan or whatnot. But the only like you're just it's in super bad taste is what I would say. Like,
well, I mean, you're literally throwing rocks in your glass house because it's you like if you're a Man U fan and you're talking shit, like please just go buy some wine at your local retailer and support your team because that's who the fucking owner is a goddamn American like alcohol distributor. Congratulations. I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, that's kind of what has gotten me here. But at the same time, like, I know what I'm about, son. And like, I also know that my team has a deep ass history before Roman Abramovich fucking took over the team. Like,
and he's also not a terrible, like,
he's not a terrible owner. A person that's really hit or miss.
Yeah, but he has left the club virtually alone.
Yeah, he's not Jerry Jones in it.
He just writes checks to cover whatever financial gaps, right? So I can kind of like I don't respect it because it does change the way that clubs are like ran.
Yeah,
it changes. You know, I mean, like Newcastle United, they're going to be a juggernaut.
Yeah,
there's no way. Like the billions of dollars that are going to be behind them to become a good team, and Newcastle United it's a blah place.
Dude,
it's very little. Like it has a lot of history in the Premier League, but I mean, they haven't been anything for 2 decades.
Yeah, I was going to say decades is the best descriptor. It's wild. You know what though? You kind of like to see people like Newcastle United fans get hyped because you're like, where the fuck have you been? You're still around? Congrats, man! All right, let's see some. It's like watching the Bengals.
I'm pretty sure Newcastle United was in the 3rd division at one point.
Probably not too long ago. But it's like watching Bengals fans get excited. You're like, look at you! You're doing stuff. That's awesome. Just wait.
So I don't know. Yeah, I mean they are a very old club. I know that, but it's just interesting to me that they were in the 2nd Premier League. No, sorry. They were in the lower divisions from 2006 to 2010. That's what I thought. And then they got into the Premier League for a bit, fell out again and came back. So man. I mean, I just think it's funny because Barcelona will be back. Like there's far too much money invested in that club. There's they have the largest stadium in Europe. They have way too much talent. They'll be back. So dance on the grave. Go ahead. The club has been there before. And just remember the next time our fan base might not be quite so humble when we win everything multiple years in a row. Because we dominated world football for almost a decade. And our fans were pretty humble about it. There wasn't a lot of like, holy shit, look at how fucking sucky this is. We had the best player on earth. We knew it. And there was no, shit talking.
You know who's not
very
humble?
minimal shit talking.
Who's not humble about their winnings in Spanish soccer?
Liverpool.
Spanish soccer is Real Madrid, and it just
but that history is so deep. Like
sucks.
They're the worst fans in Europe. Like
they surpass Liverpool because I know your feelings.
No, they're close. They're virtually the same. Like their fans are so passionate as to be like maniacal about it. So Liverpool thinks it's funny to make fun of other fans. Like I don't know. Liverpool's a weird fucking fan base. They are really, really weird. Everybody needs to know they're Liverpool fans.
Have you seen how awesome we are?
Yeah, and I mean, you guys won 1 Champions League and a Premier League title, and you're done. Your best player right now is Virgil van Dijk.
Hey,
okay,
he's a fantastic defender. Okay.
He is. He's probably one of the best.
He's top 5 in Premier League. I'll give him, and it depends on the fucking day and the opponent.
Yeah, but before the injury, he was probably 1 or 2 in the world.
I'll give you that.
But
De Bruyne is still way up there as a fucking just genuine,
all around badass.
Goddamn, great player.
It's not. Like it's best when you do win Champions League, when you do win your league. Just enjoy it. You don't need to go shitting on other fan bases. Unless it's Liverpool. Feel free to do that.
I will say this. The only time that I get really happy about outward expression of success is when Chelsea goes up at home and the ticker that runs around, the LED screen that runs around the pitch says Champions of Europe, and the entire crowd starts chanting, "We're the champions of Europe, champions of Europe, we're the champions of Europe, we're the champions of Europe," and it fucking goes on until about a good 2-3 minutes. That's fun. I enjoy that. That's cool.
That is cool.
It's one of those we could do that. It's you're walking to the ring wearing the belt at this point, okay? Because match hasn't started yet, really. I mean, we're still getting underway. I mean, once fucking knockout stage happens, then I guess you got to stop saying that because then you're starting to gloat and you might jinx yourself. But right now, group stage, we can still chant it and we're safe. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't you're a good team, so it's not. Yeah.
We're gonna see how good we are and how deep we are, because that's been everybody's comment on the quality of players at Chelsea. Is how many players we have in each position. Well, we've lost 2 of our fucking starting strikers. So for up to 4 to 6 weeks is the last word that we heard.
Yeah, but you're okay. You're not. Are you guys going for the league this year? I don't think so. I think you guys are trying to win Champions League again.
I honestly think they're aiming for Premier League, and that's.
Well, I think the decision might have just been made for you if your 2 strikers are out for 6 weeks, because what normally will happen there is you'll kind of pack it in for the league for a bit, get the strikers healthy, squeak through the group stages, and then bring them back so that you can, be back at the top in April and May.
Yeah, and see, that's the weird part, is that for most clubs, I feel like, yes, that's true. You retreat and you hold on to what you got. If you lose a few, draw, whatever, that's fine. But I feel like Thomas Tuchel doesn't do that. I mean, he fucking pulls players off in the first half if he doesn't like the way they're playing. Something tells me that's not the he will change an entire team strategy.
I don't think he will overtly pack it in. But what I can tell you is he's going to give players rest. He's got to be careful at this point, because you can't lose another striker.
Yeah,
right?
if we're down Kai Havertz, then we're just looking at Russ Barkley, and we're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. At this point, there is a decision to be made. Are we going for the league or are we going for Champions League? And you'll figure it out in the next 2 or 3 weeks, based on how you the team you put out there for group stages, who plays regularly on Saturdays. I just feel like, because we had a period where Suarez was hurt and Jordi Alba was hurt, and at that point, it was clear that we would have trouble winning the league and Champions League, and because you can't play everybody 24/7 every game, so we prioritize Champions League over the league, and we would sit the likes of Neymar against certain teams in the league, in hopes of just squeaking by, maybe just getting a point instead of getting all 3. So yeah, that'll be interesting, because in Premier League you have to choose what you're going to win. You can't play for the league, Champions League, and FA Cup all at the same time.
You should see the way I approach FIFA. Okay,
virtually impossible.
Speaking of, as you guys know, I've been loving FIFA career mode, and I recently restarted as a manager and managed Chelsea. Okay, and I will have you know, I have built a super team. It's fucking amazing. Except the other night I got real drunk. Okay, and a deal came through.
Oh my god.
A transfer offer came through for Kai Havertz, and I was like, at the time, no, worse. Okay, at the time, I was like, Kai was number 2 scorer in the Premier League, right behind Timo Werner. I was like, fuck yeah! Oh, what are they offering? It was some no-name midfielder and $26 million. I was like, or pound, whatever the fuck. I was like, nah, I don't need the other guy. I'll just see if he goes for a ridiculous amount. And charged I thought I was charging 125 million. And
12 and a half.
what I did was somewhere at the ballpark of 55 million. I was really drunk. And I click it and they were like, yes, absolutely, deal. I was like, well, that's weird. Never really does that.
It never goes that quick.
And then I look at his stats afterwards like, oh, what have I done? What have I done? His value at the time was like 75 million. I sold it 20 under.
Away. I
was like, oh no. So yeah, it was a bad move. Now I'm having to deal without Kai Havertz. So, but no, I'm really enjoying it. Actually, I want to say thank you for explaining how football formations are set up. Really helped me in developing just a badass defensive formation for Chelsea, using the players that I have on my squad and getting them plenty of rest. It's fucking amazing.
FIFA is like a house of cards. If one player goes down, you are waiting for that next player to come up lame. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Oh yeah. Oh,
the number of times in career mode I've been like, I just feel Messi's gonna get hurt this game.
You never simulate. Never simulate.
Don't ever simulate.
They'll always get hurt.
If you do play, you need to rest players.
Oh yeah.
It will legitimately, like, I will get this itching feeling and be like, this is the game. And Messi will go down and I'll put someone else in, and like some other key cog will get hurt. It's like some games goalie, you get 2 or 3 people.
Your goalie breaks his neck. You're like, oh, well, he's paralyzed, I guess? That's fucking terrible. It's got dark.
It's as though the AI says, oh, 10-0.
Fuck you. But by the way, speaking of, did you see that EA Sports is looking to step away from its contract with FIFA?
Good.
So EA Sports filed for EAFC and EA Sports Football as trademarks this year. Mm-hmm. So that and speculatively, they're saying like that could be next year's football title is EAFC, and still have contracts with all the major leagues and clubs. Just good, because I mean, honestly,
cut FIFA out of everything.
FIFA can go fuck off. I'm having a real hard time getting behind Qatar 2022.
I will probably not watch a lot of that one. If someone can get behind me and like, I'm not watching it either, then I fucking won't watch it. But here's the deal. Like, there's a fucking giant part of me that wants to watch every goddamn match. No, I know. It's that whole thing is so ethically awful.
It's fucked.
Ridiculous.
It's so fucked. And it's the thing that pisses me off, and I'll get off it on this. The thing that pisses me off about that whole World Cup 2022 situation is that it's been a known problem for over 6 years.
Oh yeah, like ever since the bid came through, everybody knew it.
Everybody. It's not even a fucking open secret. It's fucking just out there that they were just straight up kidnapping people from other countries,
from Nepal, yeah,
and just bringing them over to work slave labor and dying at a super high rate because it's like 1.5 million degrees in the goddamn desert. And build this fucking football stadium. And meanwhile, here in North America, to fucking make it about us for a second here, we're scraping together everything that we can to fucking polish the shit that we have here and be like, oh, no. This is a great bid for 2026. We should definitely come here.
Yeah, I'd be interested. I mean, I think America does pose some serious consideration for a World Cup. It's been far too long.
I mean, the way that
I think 1994 was the last one.
Though, and that was following the 88 Los Angeles games. And it was like in between 2 major Olympics because
we have phenomenal soccer facilities in this country. We've got football. I mean, could you imagine if they played a World Cup game at the Big House?
Dude, okay. Well, that's
Michigan?
that's insanity. Okay, so what I will say is, how crazy good was AT&T Stadium to watch a fucking soccer match?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You could host the finals there.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Like, they're showing the North American bid is like games in Mexico, United States, and Canada. And it's like across that's fucking beautiful. Honestly, like best case scenario for hosting games on a continent rather than doing it at a like fucking country level.
Yeah, I hope that bid goes through, because all you'll do is you'll host each group in a kind of a city, and then you'll come together for quarters, semis, and finals.
I mean, it's exactly what they did for the CONCACAF, which was actually really pretty fun to watch. Those like group games and the fucking actual knockout games and everything. It was cool.
Yeah, no, I would be interested in that. I don't know who they're going up against, but it would be cool. It would be cool if they gave America a World Cup, because we don't need to build anything.
No.
Everything's here. You just throw some banners on it and we're good.
You know that some asshole, like the dude who's trying to build the utopian society out in the desert, would be like, we're building a stadium so the finals can be played here. I'm like, God damn it.
It's Burning Man just in the middle of their circle.
So, was the asshole owner of the Oakland Raiders?
Oh, yeah.
Do that terrible
Al
haircut.
Davis's son, whatever his name is.
Ted Davis, whatever the fuck. Bad haircut
Fucking
Davis.
piece of shit.
He'll build the new stadium out in the desert in Las Vegas and be like, finals, baby.
Okay, now this isn't to say anything about redheads, but he's got that creepy blonde eyelash redhead look.
Yeah, the flesh-colored facial
weirds
hair.
me out. I'm sorry. Like I know it's not the nicest thing, but it is weird. And on him specifically, because he is so bleach white.
Yeah,
It looks like his eyes never stop. Like it's he looks really odd. He's a weird dude.
Well, yeah,
just like
he's
his
a
dad.
weird
His
dude.
dad is a fucking psychopath. Like,
Yeah, dude, that dipshit.
and the only reason that family is wealthy is because of NFL football.
Yes.
They're the only ownership group.
Yes,
His dad was almost forced to sell the Raiders and somehow got to keep it.
dude. If you type in Google Al Davis, autofills Al Davis son hair.
It's the oddest looking dude.
It's fucking wild. He literally looks like a goddamn caricature.
He does. But see how his eyes, it looks like they never start or end.
Yeah,
It's the weirdest thing. Like if he got a haircut, that would just look like the head of a dick.
Oh yeah. Well, it is the head of a dick.
Just
Honestly,
look like an uncut penis.
it's it used to be his nickname in high school. Old uncut penis face.
All right. Hey, I got one more thing, and then I unfortunately do have to drop. We have a implementation call here in a minute.
Okay.
But I don't know if you've been watching. So the World Series this year has been actually quite a lot of fun to watch.
That's baseball, I hear.
Yeah, but Formula One here in Austin was fantastic.
I heard it was fucking packed too.
Yeah, 150,000 people.
That's insane.
The track has never been that full. It was actually a beautiful sight, because they've almost canceled this race in Austin several times. The first 3 years it ran, 2 of them got rained out. It's been a disaster, and they finally got their day where all that work paid off, and good for the COTA people, even though they're assholes. They went through a lot to get that race to stay. So, and it's fun. Like, I would love to go to a Formula One race just after maybe a 4th booster. So the thing that all these sports have in common is that they now all have official crypto exchanges.
What?
Yes. And I can't help but think pro athletes are getting conned into investing in things they don't understand, and they're advertising things they don't understand, because there are exchanges popping up. One is crypto.com. It never existed before, probably a couple months ago. There's this exchange that is now, they own a Formula One car that they sponsor.
Yeah.
Or they sponsor a Formula One team. They are the official sponsor of Formula One. They sponsor the race out here. They're sponsoring the World Series. Their logo's on the fucking mound at the World Series, called FTX.
Yeah.
Again, anybody who's involved in crypto has never heard of these fuckers. Somehow they have the money to have all these celebrities. They've got Tom Brady pushing their exchange. They've got, okay. I have a theory.
Okay. Is it Ethereum?
No.
See what I did there?
Zing. I do have a theory that this is going to end with some American greed story.
Oh, for sure.
I have no idea how an exchange. So I can now buy crypto through my Schwab account.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I go to a third-party exchange that is brand new, that I've never heard of, to go buy a single Bitcoin for $62,000 just because? Like,
Yeah.
no thanks. I'll go do that through Chase, a bank that I know is a bank.
Yeah, it will back my money in case a fucking glitch happens while the transaction's taking place.
Yeah, I mean, like, Jesus, the amount of people who have, the amount of crypto exchanges that have gone dark,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
So
how many
Mt.
have
Gox-
gone dark that we don't know about?
Yeah, exactly. And Mount Gox was one of the biggest ever. That dude walked away with, at that time, $250 million that has still never been recovered.
Right.
So, to me, these teams aligning themselves with official exchanges, I don't see how this ends well. Like,
Well, do you remember back in the day when a lot of NASCAR, I think, was really big into it, getting into domain snatching companies? Like GoDaddy.com is the one that everybody like turns to because they advertise fucking everywhere. But there were at least 3 others at that same time that were like major sponsors of major sporting events, much less sporting teams and shit. The exact same thing though. Like, where the fuck did they go? Oh, they went. They just collapsed like goddamn black holes on themselves. The difference is, I mean, those companies. Sure, like you lose like what $12 for a domain name that you fucking paid for. You lose your $12. These you're dealing with, like you said, like $66,000 for a fucking single Bitcoin or whatever the fuck Ethereum, Doge, Radium,
whatever money you want to go burn in the fire.
Excelsior, whatever fucking Bitcoin or whatever a crypto you're investing in today. Like you just lose it. It just goes away because there's no rules, baby.
There are no standards for how these things should be vaulted or how they should be kept in, online repositories, whatever. So
suppositories.
It is a very, very interesting thing that I am going to be tracking because I started noticing it really this year. Well, not this year, this month. And when I saw it on Formula One, I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And then I saw that same company on the World Series, and I was like, yeah, someone's getting ripped off here. Like, there's something about this is not right.
I thought it was weird that Tom Brady paid for his touchdown ball in a Bitcoin, in a single Bitcoin, along with $500,000.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
I guess.
I'll give Tom credit there. He
also gave him like 2 season tickets or some shit. There was a lot.
Well, he was getting a bunch of flack, and he should have gotten a bunch of flack because the Buccaneers were like, yeah, here's, I don't know, they gave him some seats.
Yeah, it was literally like
and $1,000 to the team store.
Yeah,
could you imagine spending $1,000 on NFL?
Yeah, you buy yourself 2 jerseys, and that's it.
Oh yeah, we're getting the whole family custom jerseys out of this $1,000 they gave me versus the $500,000 this ball is probably worth.
Which is at least that, because that's what Tom Brady paid for it. Like, that's fucking whatever. At least he did that. Do you remember like when Barry Bonds hit like the 74th home run or whatever the fuck it was?
And they put a little tracker on it, like not a tracker, but there was a decal on it.
Yeah. So fucking dumb. I just let people, like, whatever. If you appreciate the sport, like, this goes both ways. Do what's right for the fucking sport. So do what Tom Brady did. Like, pay a fair market value at the time of what that memorabilia is worth. But also, like, dude, if you fucking are a fan of an athlete, like, that's a fucking story that is worth, and that's an entire lifetime story. I don't know. I that's also me. I've never been in possession of a fucking ball that's worth more than my fucking house either, Like, I don't have that context to go off of. I might feel differently if I'm holding a I don't know, some ping pong ball that got hit my way that was worth $1 million. But right now, all I have is my signed Pudge Rodriguez baseball that's on top of my bookshelf here, and
Ooh.
I paid $90 for it at Cooperstown.
Is that an NFT?
No, it's an actual baseball bought in the year 2000.
Okay, so let me quickly before we sign off here. There is an NFT out there by the name of what is it? CryptoPunk 9998.
9997 was taken.
Yeah, it's one of 3,840 female CryptoPunks, of which 136 have wild white hair. 600 this is the combination of the punk. Okay, so it has wild white hair. Only 136 other ones have it. It has black lipstick. Only 617 others have that. It has clown eyes that are green, and only 382 have that. So it is its own unique combination and shares, its characteristics with various amounts of other ones. This CryptoPunk, like if you just want to understand how absolutely batshit stupid people are, on August 11th. Okay, so this thing was created June 23rd, 2017. Its initial, that's when it was claimed. It was sold in its first transaction for 15 Ethereum for $9,499. Not even a year ago, December 27th, 2020. Okay.
Frank, hold up. I just looked this up. I want to properly describe this. This is a mess of. I'll let you go. You keep going.
It's 8-bit.
It looks like it was done in Microsoft Paint, but zoomed in far too much.
Okay, so don't look at the transactions.
Okay.
It sold last year around this time for 10 grand. Okay. Take a guess what it sold for today.
50 grand?
532 million.
Fuck off.
124,000 Ethereum. I think it officially makes it the most expensive art ever sold at auction. I don't think there's anything more expensive, because people have always been pushing for the $500 million artwork. Let's just see.
Well, $500 million it hit on October 28th. October 29th, it sold for $1.07 billion.
No.
It's offered. Okay.
It's being offered. So I do believe, because the Leonardo da Vinci by Salvador Mundi by Leonardo da Vinci sold for $450 million, and I think that might be the most expensive ever.
I gotta be honest with you.
Yep, that is the most expensive. So this is now officially, as of today, the most expensive piece of art ever sold, and it's dog shit.
I gotta be honest with you. When you Google search it, it comes up. It's a square image, so graphic design is my hobby. I'm just gonna hit you with this: 336 pixels by 336 pixels. It's got to be the most dollars per pixel ever. Period. That's around 1,000 pixels, 1,000 square pixels, 10,000 square pixels, whatever the fuck it is. That's too much.
So there's a guy, Titan XBT on Twitter. I don't know. I don't think he actually bought it, but he said, "Why I bought CryptoPunk 9998 for 124,457 Ethereum, $532 million US. Because I wanted to show Mark Zuckerberg he's poor and shouldn't make metaverse."
Holy shit! CryptoPunks is a cesspool, by the way. These are all terrible art, terrible pieces of art. Apparently someone appreciates it. Not I. That's all I got to say. Not I.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is some like Elon Musk thing, because he bought a shit ton of Ethereum not long ago, and he's the kind of dude that just wants the clout. He would do this for clout.
He'd bankrupt someone for clout.
It's either that or it's some kind of money laundering happening in real time.
I mean,
those are the only two. That is the most. So money laundering used to take place and still does via the art auctions.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most ever paid for a piece of art.
That's got to stand out. It should be standing out to someone who
needs
for
to
this.
investigate what happened here.
Yeah.
And then also, this isn't a just tax the fucking rich ad. I don't know what is. We're literally pissing money away on digital
thumbnails. 336 by 336.
Ugh. All right, I'm done. Let's get out of here.
You just ended with the world is shit. What are we even fucking doing here? But you know what?
What are we doing?
You know what we're doing? We're going out to the old Teespring store and picking up some holiday shirts if you want them. Did you get yours in, by the way?
Did I get my... Yes, I got everything, except I haven't ordered the Christmas jersey. I need to get one of those.
Okay. I like the... Honestly, my favorite is the NBLB holiday shirt. The one with
shirt? You don't like the jersey?
The Christmas design across it. It's nice. I don't know. I don't know that I even have the jersey up there anymore. I might have taken it down.
No, I'm talking about the sweater. Sorry.
Oh, the sweater. Yeah. The sweater's a good... Yeah, that's my favorite.
Okay, so you like the sweater. I have the t-shirt.
I have the t-shirt as well.
The t-shirt's nice. You do need an undershirt with it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm learning. Okay, folks, I'm learning. Yeah. We're gonna mix up the designs. I'm excited for what the spring will bring.
Oh my god, the spring collection! Store. We're going to Paris.
Oh yeah, baby. Like you guys have no idea what y'all are in for. Okay.
Have you ever seen us catwalk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
ready,
literally
bitches.
about to run out of battery.
Okay, guys. Thank you for checking us out this week and every week. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Check us out over on social media. You know what they are at No Beer Left Cast, Twitter, Instagram, the rest. For Brian here in North Texas, I am out.
For Frank in far, 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 far south, Dallas. Yeah, paid parental leave yesterday, please. I'm out.